I get the band. Run it. Whoop, whoop. Run up the bag. Run up the bag. Run up the bag. Run up the bag. I get the bag and I run it up.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the Roll Call. My name is Barrison, and I am your host for this installation of it. Welcome to everyone from the FGC Port Harcourt 98.7. Whether you are a seasoned investor or whether you are just starting out, today's session is actually going to give you some valuable insights to help you not be the one during family events that they send to bring drinks for everybody. I'm kidding. Today's event is going to teach you about joining the financial dots and to achieve financial freedom. I'm joined today by my co-host Patricia, and we're joined also by a presenter who has written over 146 articles on finance. Patricia?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here again.
Good afternoon, Patricia. Okay, Patricia, do you want to tell us a little bit about what today's session is going to be and who our host is, or who our presenter is, rather?
Okay. Definitely, I'm excited about today. I guess everyone is on now. So yes, we have come to another roll call. I'm sure the people that missed the last one, they all came back to say what exactly is going on. So the roll call is actually where we explore our network to harness its collective potential, to dialogue with ourselves, with experts, professionals, and talent, to learn from opportunities in their areas of expertise and solutions to our common problems in Nigeria. So today's episode will be a fantastic one, just as last one. And just before we'll dive into it, we'll actually watch a 1 minute video to give us an insight to what we'll talk about. So I don't know if you're ready. Just a 1 minute video. Fantastic. It's on now. Awesome. Thank you for this. So I'm sure we've looked at it and you're wondering. So yes, we are actually talking about our finance, economic and finance. So you're wondering what exactly in finance we'll talk about. Today's topic is actually making sound economic decisions by connecting your financial dots. So we all know that, every one of us, we all spend. So we're definitely going to gain a lot in this. And so you're wondering, in today's episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with one of us. One of us is actually Leedee. Leedee is a seasoned financial consultant with a diverse background in various industries, with extensive professional experience and impressive academic and impressive academic credentials. Leedee has expressed himself as a seasoned person in finance. He is currently serving as the lead consultant and CEO of Mackarios, and he shares his insights with various platforms. I'm sure most of us would we get to see this. I myself will look forward to when he gets to post that. So yes, we also benefit from that. Please join us as we dive into his expertise and gain more valuable financial advice from our trusted advisor in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome Leedee to the roll call.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would like to begin by using this opportunity to say a big thank you to the organizers of the roll call. Ibomi, Chichi, Oge, Tony, my hosts, Patricia, and Bereton, the man with the golden voice. Thank you so much for having me.
Bariton, would you like to unmute? We cannot hear you.
Thank you. That's the very first lesson to learn about hosting. Know where the mute and unmute button is. No, Leedee, thank you and welcome to the roll call. Look, I know this is a topic that is dear to your heart. I know at the start of this I cracked a joke saying, you're going to teach us how not to be the person that they send message during family events. Because we want to be the people that have taken every opportunity that has come our way, and we've harnessed all that, and we have been able to make a lasting impression and a lasting impact with our finances. So you're here to talk to us today about joining the financial dots. So without kind of stealing any of your thunder, please, my dear friend, take it away.
Thank you very much, Berton. Yeah, thank you very much. Although what you said was a joke, but it's a hard reality in the lives of so many. And how do we prevent ourselves from being the ones getting the drinks during occasions? The answer is financial education, right? Financial education is so very important. It must be emphasized over and over again. But I'm in the business of making things simple. So I'll begin by defining what financial education is. Financial education is gotten from two words, finance and education. Finance simply means or talks about money, right? Monetary concepts and all of that. While education simply talks about enlightenment. So financial education is the enlightenment about the management of money. It's very important. It's a very simple definition and very, very important for us to understand in our world today. Now, financial education being the foundation simply means it's more like, okay, this is the primary school about making money, right? I would like us to put the first slide, please, so we can go into the definition of financial education proper. Now, like I said earlier, financial education is the enlightenment about the management of money. Why is money very important? Patricia said something very concise. She says we all deal with money, and that is the truth, whether we like it or not. We all deal with money and monetary concepts. But one thing about financial education is this, just like what the scripture says, something that says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and every other thing will be added to you. When you seek first financial education, everything that you seem to be pursuing will be added onto you. It's very important that you know what comes first. Financial education should not be put in the background. It should be in the front burner. You should always think financial education, financial education, financial education. What does it do for you? Well, financial education changes your mindset. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you see things regarding money and economic strategies. And when your mindset is changed, mind you, the way the human being is created, your mindset will not change overnight. is something that is consistent. After all, it took you years to attend the primary school, the secondary school, and the university. So financial education is your foundation for financial success. It's important for you to understand this, all right? Now, there are certain words that you must understand. This is like the primary school of financial education. There are certain words you must understand in financial education, in your journey of financial education. One of them is assets, and the other is liabilities. Now, there are different definitions of assets and liabilities, but like I said earlier, I'm in the business of keeping things simple. So let's dive into the simple definition. An asset is anyone or anything that brings money into your pockets. And a liability is anyone or anything that takes money out of your pockets. I'll say it again. An asset is anyone or anything that pulls money into your pocket, while a liability is anyone or anything that takes money from your pocket. Now think about that. Thinking of that definition of assets and liabilities, the next thing that should come to your mind is this: what are my assets? What are my liabilities? It's very important for you to have a list. Have a list, your cardboard that you put on your fridge, your wardrobe, anywhere that you have
I can't hear our presenter. I think
Exactly. I was just thinking who has stolen our golden voice away.
um
I mean, just when I've gotten my pen and all that to start scribbling, oh my, oh my.
you are not the only one. I'm making some notes. He was already talking about assets and liabilities, and I was already starting to write
I was
down the things that
thinking
were taking
already to
money
say,
out of my
okay,
pocket and the people
please,
that were
please,
taking
please,
money out of my
anybody
pocket.
around me.
So while we give him an opportunity to rejoin again, because I'm sure it's probably NEPA, they are definitely a liability to him and to all of us who have
Forces
presence in
around.
Nigeria. Or yes, so I think we could all probably use this moment to start thinking in line of what he's already spoken about, and maybe if you can start jotting down some of the assets, things that are putting money in your pocket, and the liabilities are things that are taking money out of your pocket. And the
So
reason I say
beginning,
this is so that we can ask him questions when he comes back,
I mean,
and
and put him
how
on the
we
spot.
can,
It's the
and
head of
put him on
our
the
life.
spot. Let's do that. Let's do that.
So I mean, when he started, he said two things. I mean, that took my head off to say is money and finance and education. Quite all right, but then let's break it down. It's just money and enlightenment. So it's putting a spotlight, putting a ring light on the two words to say we have to really understand what is going on around us. So I mean, whether we like it or not, we would learn like 3 4 things. I'm challenging everyone. Let's know what we'll get from this, because I think we know. People think we all think we know it all, but trust me, in finance, it's never enough. You just be wondering when they pay
No,
you money,
you can never know it.
where did
You
everything
can
go
never know
to?
it all.
Goodness me!
And here is the
Thank
man
goodness.
himself.
Welcome back. The forces will
Thank
not
you
allow
very
you.
much.
No way.
No, don't
Nah,
worry. No weapon formed
they cannot
against me
win.
shall prosper.
Fire, fire,
Amen.
fire.
Amen.
Amen.
So, as I
Bishop,
was
let her take
saying,
it away.
yeah, thank you very much. As I was saying, I was emphasizing on the importance of financial education. I would like to use a real life example. You know, when we were watching the video, we saw a slide that talked about sports players, sports fans. It cuts across all sports, whether it's football or golf or lawn tennis. A lot of these players make a lot of money while they are playing. But many of them who don't have financial education, they tend to lose money. They don't do well when they stop playing. A good example, I just remembered while we were in school, right, way back 1994, we had some footballers that we love, people like Daniel Omokachi, JJ Okocha. You agree with me that their lives did not turn out the same, right? JJ Okocha is doing well. He made some good decisions, financially good decisions. Daniel Omokachi was making a lot of money while he was playing in England, and he flew around in private jet. Nothing wrong with that. You can do your private jetting and all that, but is it necessary at this time? Okay, he made a lot of decisions that were not sound, right? So when you are financially educated, it helps you to connect the dots, the economic dots, so that you can make important decisions for today and for tomorrow. So it's very important. It's so important that it does not respect location. Wherever you are, whether you are in a country where the GDP is high or a country where the GDP is below zero, it does not matter really. Usually, the richest people in the world come from the poorest countries. So how do they do it? It's financial education. So the difference between the rich and the poor is not money. It is financial education. Now, in the next slide, we have its importance. And there I put for us a kind of a picture to show you how you should arrange your income. Now you have your mind, which covers your job, your business, your investment, your side hustle, right? So that is where your mind comes in. Mind you, your mind can be trained to be an asset, or your mind can be trained to be a liability. It's all up to you. But here on this picture, you see that your job, business, your investment, your side hustle gives you an income, right? Then from the income column, it flows down to expenses. The expenses are things that take money from you every day. Now, from there, you have to have assets and liabilities. Where does the cash flow? When you have an income, when you have money coming in, where does your cash flow? Does it flow to the asset column or does it flow to the liabilities column? That's very important for your financial future, because when you invest in assets, your assets bring income. That means you have an additional for your job, your business, and your side hustle. Meanwhile, your liabilities go back to your expenses. You can see clearly the arrows on the liability column going back to expenses. It does not give you an income. So now think about it. What exactly are your liabilities and what exactly are your assets? You must list them. And if you have more liabilities than assets, you must make a deliberate, conscious decision to tilt it the other way around, because that's simply the difference between the rich and the poor. All right, next slide. Good. How does financial education benefit the economy? It benefits the economy in different ways. You know that as a person or as a family, you're already an economy. The general economy are families put together within a geographical space to make the general economy. But as a person, as a family, you have your economy. But as a financially educated person, organization, or country, you can build on that foundation to help your country. We have a lot of countries today that have a lot of economic issues. It's all over the world, not just in Africa. We need more financially educated people who are advising our leaders the decisions they should make, the decisions they should not make, right? Now, deliberately, you can see on the slide, you see a house being built. If you're financially educated, if you're financially smart, if you want to make an investment, what you should be thinking about is needs and wants. I believe you saw that on the video, on the intro. What are the needs? What are the wants? It's always better to invest in more in what people need than what people want. Okay. And that is paramount. And you can see a house a residential building going up, housing is very important, okay? And it is what people need, not just what people want. Everybody wants housing. Everybody needs an accommodation. So that's one of the benefits of being financially educated. It gives you the opportunity to invest in the needs of people. And another thing about that is this. When you invest in things like this, you are not just investing in the needs of people, you are partnering with the government of the day. There is no country in this world that has accommodation that is enough for everybody. Everyone is always thinking that housing is an issue. This is the way to go. Next slide. Thank you. Challenges. Now, financial education has its challenges. Yes, one of the challenges is lack of access to resources or limited financial literacy programs. Financial education is not taught in schools. I mean the formal schools that we all go to and our kids go to. So where do you find them? You need to find them. You need to get resources, books. You need to connect to websites like Mackarios.substack.com. These are resources that will enable you to have access to financial literacy, complexity of financial concepts. I said earlier on, we are in the business of making things simple. Financial concepts are not hard. They are not supposed to be hard, but they are made hard by the system. I remember many years ago, there was a central bank governor of Nigeria. Anytime he talks about the economy, people just get lost. People, in fact, lose interest in anything about the economy. I will not mention names here, but people lose interest. But there was another CBN governor that replaced him that made the economy sound interesting. I will not also mention names. But anytime he talks about the economy, you would listen, you would understand. It's not supposed to be complex, but it is made complex deliberately, I should say, so that people do not understand. Now, low priority is another challenge. It's important for us to put financial education on the front burner, because when you do, then you are going to succeed and make others succeed. There is something called financial education. There's something called financial intelligence. I deal more on financial intelligence. That's because when you get educated, you get enlightened. But when you use that enlightenment for your benefit and for the benefit of others, that's when you become intelligent. Next slide. Thank you. Now, the solutions: increase in access to financial education sources. Like I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of sources that gives you the opportunity to receive financial education. And like I said, financial education is not something you can do in a day, a month, 6 months, or even a year. It's a continuous process because things are changing in the world quite rapidly. Did you observe that during COVID, for example, the supply chain, the world's economic supply chain was disturbed? That's why when you make orders, you don't get them on time. When you go to the stores, certain things were not available. So you need to understand, where do these things come from? How do they move? What can you do to ensure that you are safe and sound? Another solution for this is to integrate financial literacy into school curricula. Now, financial education is not taught in schools, and I dare say it's deliberate. You remember, while growing up, you tend to reason like your parents, okay? When your parents went to school and they were raising you, you usually do not do most of what your parents tell you to do, but you do what you see them do. So if you are financially educated, you are going to educate your kids. Now, this is very important because this education will not be found in your school curricula. It's not just done. All right. So get financial education for yourself, and then you can pass it over to your kids, not just by talking, but by them watching you do it. Next slide, please. A call to action. The importance of financial education cannot be overemphasized. It is the foundation, like I said earlier. You should not jump into that business. You should not jump into that deal without first being financially educated. This is of great importance. Yes, a lot of persons have asked me, okay, yes, we know financial education is important, but I want money now. Yes, it's good that you have the money now, but where will the money flow to when the money comes now? Will it flow to the asset column? Will it flow to the liabilities column? Because of the way we were raised, many of us, you tend to think of liabilities more than assets. So this is like a rejig. We need to reorient ourselves. We need to change our mindsets to be more financially literate so that when you have an income, you think of assets more than liabilities. This is how you connect the dots for your economic decision making. While you connect the dots, it's very simple. It's similar to weather forecasts. Okay? When you look at the weather, if it's dark, you can tell it's going to rain very soon. If it's sunny for a long time, you can predict it will rain very soon. If you can predict the weather, you should be able to predict the economy. If there's a policy that is initiated by the government at this time, you should know in the next 8 months, in the next 12 months, this is what will happen. It's very important for you to have that at the back of your mind. Encourages individuals and organizations to prioritize financial literacy initiatives and invest in financial education. Financial education is not just for individuals, it is for organizations, it is for countries, it addresses everyone. It doesn't matter if you have a lot now or you don't have at all. We all require financial education. So the call to action, put this in the front burner, take this serious, and you will see that over time, as your mindset shifts and you begin to see things differently, what that will do for you is this. There are certain opportunities that are around you. You do not see them right now. But with financial education, you will begin to see those opportunities. It will make life easier, generally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leedee. You were dropping some gems. I've been making some notes, and personally, I have a number of questions. But I will just kind of recap on some of the gems that I took away from here, and I'm sure everybody has taken something away as well. You said at the start, he says your mind can be trained to be an asset or a liability.
I got that to you.
I don't know if you realize how deep that was. Could you just help us by breaking that down a little further and how one can train their mind to be more in the asset column than in the liability column?
Okay, thank you very much. It's very easy, really. I said during the discussion that our formal education system does not teach us about money. So when you go through school, right, from primary school to secondary school to whatever you're studying, you're not trained to think assets and liabilities, right? Even schools today, the schools our kids are going to, they're not trained that way. So you need to be deliberate in making sure that you think and reason that way. That's the reason for your financial education. You need to say, okay, when money comes into my hand, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Those days, when money comes to into your hand, the first thing you're thinking, I can buy that car. Okay, I want to live in a big house. But do those things put money in your hand? Or do they take money out of your hand? There's nothing wrong with driving a big car. But is it time to drive the Range Rover? Is it time for the Jaguar? Let me give you a simple example. I'm using myself as an example now. I'm into real estate. It's one of the business that I do. And I have tenants. One day I sent someone to take pictures of the property where my tenants were. And I noticed something. They took the pictures on one day. A few days later, they went and took some more pictures. And I saw the quality of vehicles in the compound. And I smiled. My tenants drive more luxurious vehicle than I do. I found it funny because I'm providing accommodation for these people. But when they make money, when they pay me rent, they go buy themselves large vehicles. Meanwhile, their landlord doesn't drive what they drive. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this thing is deliberate. What I do is, okay, when I get money, I invest in assets. Then when money comes from assets, I use it to fund liabilities, because my liabilities are inevitable. You must have liabilities in life. And as we get older, your liabilities tend to grow. So it's a deliberate, conscious thing. And having the roll call and the materials, having access to literacy programs is the first step towards changing that mindset, because we are rigged in that direction from birth. That is why you have fewer rich people in the world and more that are just getting by. So it's a change of mindset.
That is an absolutely fantastic way of thinking about it, and I like the flow that you went through from, I got money, I invested in real estate, knowing that my real estate is going to make money for me. And the money from my real estate is then what I'm going to use to fund my wants, right? And also address some of my going needs. That is an absolutely brilliant way of breaking that down. Thank you. I have one more question for you, but at the same time, I want to just urge our audience to start getting some of their thoughts and questions down into the comment section when we get to the Q&A area, because I'm sure the people listening all have questions for you as well. And whilst you were answering my last question, Leedee, you talked about financial education is not taught in our schools. You talked about the fact that we need to get more financially educated people in positions where they can advise our government or even within our families. We are now at a certain age where we all have, or we're now having children or starting families, and we know that these things are not taught in schools. So with our children, what and how do you, is there material that you can recommend that we use for the younger generation, or language we can use for the younger generation to actually start to teach them how to become, financially educated young people who can then step into these positions of leadership tomorrow?
Thank you for your question. With regards to recommendation, you know that we're always thinking this way. The next generation need to be empowered so they can do better than us, right? Right. That's what our parents always used to say. And one of the best ways to teach children is via games. You know that as kids, we used to love games a lot. And our kids are no different. We play with our kids to have fun and at the same time to communicate certain realities with them. I have something here. It's called the cash flow board game. Right? This game is very similar to Monopoly. It's a cash flow board game that is open for families to play. You can get this game on most online stores, Amazon and the rest of them. This cash flow board game gives you the opportunity to play with your kids at home. And this game enlightens the children over time. It's fun. It enlightens the children over time on how to see deals, how to look at that next property that is not complete near your house. When they look at it, what do they see? Do they just see, oh, grass is growing there, nobody is living there? Or do they see an opportunity? So when you play games like this, the cash flow board game, it says how to get out of the rat race. All right. So this is going to help you as a father, as a mother, and your kids to think differently. So I advise that you can get games like this. It's very much available. 2 to 6 people can play these games. You can play it with your in-laws and their kids practically at the same time to help financially educate the next generation. They would enjoy the game, and at the same time, they would see the need and see opportunities where others don't see.
Okay, Leedee, thank you so much. I mean, I've actually just written down on cash flow. So yes, spot on. I think you read my mind. I was going to ask something about cash flow to say that we're really first of all, you mentioned to say your mind will work in two ways: assets and liability. So then I start thinking, where is my cash actually flowing into? Yes, I'm actually in a financial institution, and I totally agree with you to say that yes, in our schools today, or when we were still in school, yes, you would wonder why. I mean, cash was not really talked about. Cash education was not really talked about. So guess what? In growing up now and working in a financial institution, the CBN, I mean, I'm privileged to know that sometime in March and sometime in October, they get to mandate financial institutions to go around schools. But come on, you cannot go around all schools. They try to say, oh, go to about 36 schools or so and talk about financial literacy. After that, on financial literacy, sometime in October, they talk about world savings. So, but that's just a tiny bit of what we are discussing here. Even after that, you find out that the children are actually excited and they really want to know about money. Oh, you're giving me money anytime I go and dance or go for a competition, I get to win something. And then you say, oh, I want to save it. I put it in a piggy bank. It's going to grow. How does it grow? So you're wondering, oh, these are the questions your kids are asking you. And then they say, you see your kids coming to meet you saying, oh, mommy, daddy, I gave you money the other time. You said you keep it for me today. Where is the money? It is two weeks down the line or 2 months down the line. Has it actually grown? So you find out that really they are actually interested in wanting to know what money is. So yes, I will indulge every one of us here to please talk about, introduce your children to money. Okay, so I get to ask my question now. So since we're talking about assets and liabilities, I would like to know exactly, I mean, maybe not just me, I'm trying to speak the mind of us here to say, what types of liability do we have? And then you speaking about how we get to manage this, how will liabilities impact on this cash flow? I know questions will start coming in, but let me just drop this in now before it spills off my head.
Okay, before I answer that question, I would like to pick up a little bit of what you were saying about the CBN and kids and all that. You used the word savings. Now, when we talk about saving money, what are you saving the money from? You must be trying to save it from something, okay? When I hear the word saving, or when I think of saving, I think investment, not keeping money in the bank. I'll use myself as an example again. Several years ago, my bank in Nigeria came up with this kiddies save invest stuff. So I said, okay, I was going to put 15K into this kiddies account for my son. That was 8-9 years ago. I put the money there and forgot it. That was 15-16K. In 8 years, I still have about 16K 500. Is that saving? That's not saving, because inflation rate is far beyond and above. So if you're giving me 500 naira in 8 years, come on, we need to think different. So that is the thing about saving. If you are saving, what are you saving it from? If you want to save it from inflation, actually leaving all your money in the bank is not the answer. Because yours truly, a man can be so poor, all he has is money. So back to your questions about, I believe it's liabilities, right? What kind of liabilities that we have?
Yes. Type of liabilities,
Now,
yes, because we all have, I'm certain.
Yes, we all have liabilities. In fact, like I said earlier, liabilities are inevitable, right? And going back to the definition of liabilities, for those who are not connected by then, liabilities are anyone or anything that takes money from your pockets. So when you look around you, what are your liabilities? Your car can be a liability, because you know that the moment you purchase that vehicle, it loses 20% of its value from the day, whether it's brand new or not. It loses 20% of its value from the day you drive out from the car lot. That vehicle takes from you every day. Even if you don't go for repairs, you buy fuel. and the cost of fuel is always increasing. So your vehicle is a liability. Even the house you live in, your private home, can be a liability. Your private home, yes, if you've built a house for yourself, your private home does not allow you to pay rent to someone else. But even as you're living in your house, you make repairs. You're fixing one thing, you're painting this thing, you're fixing this thing. It's taken from you. So it would be nice if you think first, okay, let me provide housing for someone else and get some cash flow, not just real estate. I'm just using real estate as an example, or any other business that you invest in after you gain or while you gain your financial education. Then when you get cash flow, then you build your house. That will make more sense. That's what I did. And it was easier. All right. So your house can be your liability. Your vehicle can be your liability. Sometimes the people around you can be a liability. The kind of friends that you have. When you come together, is all what you do watch football? Is that all you do? Do you discuss things that matter, that can improve all of us? Or is it just the rumors of this and that? Your friends can also be your liabilities. So if you have liabilities as friends, maybe if you love them so much, you should all get financially educated. If they don't want to, it will be wise for you to pull out from that friendship because it won't do anything for you. All right? Because your friends also influence the decisions you make. Okay. It's almost summertime. And a lot of persons want to travel abroad for holiday. Is it necessary? And that abroad, must it be the UK? There's nothing wrong with the UK. Benetton and Co. There's nothing wrong with the UK. But must it be the UK? You can travel to Ghana. It's not far from Nigeria. It's still, you can even go to Sierra Leone and see something that is different from what, so.
Your village. You did not say your village.
Yes, you can go to your village as far as you are not taken out of the road.
And take fresh air.
So these are the decisions that you make once you become more enlightened financially. Remember what I said when you're saying savings, not investments. All right.
Thank you. Okay, so we're starting to get some questions come through in the Q&A. I'm going to fire off a couple to you, and then I'll pass on to my co-host. Please, just for time purposes, can you just keep your answers a bit short? Question is, how can an organization invest more and efficiently? What options are there for better yield and return on investment? Thanks.
An organization, the first thing that comes to my mind, yes, an organization, the first thing that comes to my mind is to invest in the financial education of your staff. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Because if you have a staff that is financially educated, they will become more efficient, they'll become more productive, and they'll become more loyal to your company. So that's the first thing that an organization should do, financial education for your staff. Then your staff will see opportunities where others do not see. You will all think global, and you're going to take action that will help your organization.
Okay. And I think the follow-up to that question was also considering the volatility of the dollar to naira. How does your answer change regarding that? Yeah, regarding the organization. Yes.
No, the financial education is the foundation. It is also the answer to that question. It depends on your industry, really. But when you are financially educated as a foundation, you would see opportunities where others do not see, and you will make sound economic decisions.
Okay, thank you. Someone asked the question, how do I get into the mindset of investing? How do I know what I can invest in? Is it just real estate? Are there other areas I can get into that will give me a high ROI?
Yes, it's not just real estate, of course. There are several things that you can invest in. But like I will repeat again, you first invest in your financial education. because when you are financially educated, the risk is low. Now, real estate, basically, one of the reasons for real estate is for cash flow. There are other things you can invest in, because when we are looking at our money, we don't just look at numbers, we look at value. You can invest in solid minerals. If you have cash flow, for example, or you invest in other businesses like food stuff, land, whatever it is, you can also invest in minerals, solid minerals like silver and gold. Those hold value. In fact, and indeed, gold and silver are real money compared to naira and dollar.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so not to overflog this, I think someone here is also asking to say, how can individuals effectively connect their financial dots to make sound economic decisions amidst evolving economic conditions, low wages, rising inflation, increasing liabilities, and extended family and community support? I think you've mentioned it, but it wouldn't mind if you just get to put a word on this again. At least just
no problem. No
you.
problem. The emphasis is to change the way you see. I understand what the person is asking. The situation is very dire in the world today, all over the world. Change the way you see. You agree with me that if you use reading glasses like we are doing at this point in time, if you remove the reading glasses, you will not see the same thing.
Now. Consider it.
I'm also wearing reading glasses. I'm also wearing reading glasses. You know that when you remove these glasses, what you see is slightly different. So change the way you see. The best way to get out of a pit is to stop digging. That's it. Stop digging. Get your financial education. Change the way you see. There are certain things that we get involved in that are not necessary. There are certain, it still goes back to assets and liabilities. The person might be asking this question, but the person has a lot of liabilities. Get rid of your liabilities and increase your assets. In 1 year, your question will change.
Interesting, really very interesting. So we have to invest more, reduce what you're spending so much money on in assets. Yes, reduce your family and friends, all those people. And the truth about it, you're really very correct, because once you get to receive funds, you get to do one deal and you're happy, oh, such thing is coming in. But before it even comes in, it's already gone. So you ask yourself, where did everything go to? So I don't know if we are here when you get to spool your statements, or you see, oh, 2023, what did I do with my money? I earned so and so amount and everything just went down the drain. What did you invest in? So yes, I totally agree with you. Do we have more questions coming in? Veriton, do you have an idea?
There are a few coming in. It says,
I think we still have time.
Yeah, it says, hello, Leddie. It's very good to see you share some knowledge on this topic. So you're being appreciated, my friend. You are right about the fact that the system is rigged against most of us because we have not been guided along the path of financial education. However, can individuals, I think we've asked parts of this one. He said, however, can individuals effectively connect their financial dots to make sound economic decisions amidst evolving economic conditions, low wages, rising inflation, increasing liabilities, extended family and community support? And then as a follow-up to that, another question came in saying, practically speaking, how can one get into investing in solid material? So they piggyback on what you said earlier on. So can you try and answer both those together?
Okay, I think the first question is very similar to what Patricia asked. It seems very similar because the answer is the same. Now I can see how can one invest in gold and silver business.
Yes, I'm interested myself. You mentioned invest in solid minerals, so please tell us.
Yes. Okay. The reason we should invest in solid minerals is this. Solid minerals have remained money for over 10,000 years, since before Christ. And if he tarries, even for another 1,000 years, it will still remain money. But we remember the kobo. right, that we had in the 80s. We don't have the kobo anymore. 10 million naira in 2010 is no longer 10 million naira today. It's still 10 million naira in numbers, but not in value. In 1994, I used to watch CNN and I look at crude oil sales and gold sales. And I used to ask myself, why we were still in FGC, I'll ask myself, why is it that there's so much focus on crude oil, but the value of gold seems to be better per ounce? And later I got to discover that solid minerals is one of the best ways to go. The wealthy in the world invest in silver and gold. Now, how to invest in silver and gold? There are different organizations that give you the opportunity. The ones I know are mostly in the UK and in the US. They give you the opportunity to invest securely in silver and in gold. Gold right now is on the high side per ounce, but something like silver is something I believe that we should begin from, because silver is very cheap as we speak, and silver is more industrial than gold. What do I mean by industrial? It is found and used in most industrial materials in the world today. For those of us that like solar, your solar panels on your roof have a lot of silver in it. Your cell phone has silver in it. Your laptop has some silver in it. There are different things that are used in industries all over the world that have silver in it. Silver is cheap right now. You can invest in silver to begin with because it will help you save value for your money. It may not cash flow like other businesses or real estate, but it's a way to protect your money from inflation. So I know of organizations in the US and in the UK that you can invest. You can buy as you have, whatever amount you have. You can buy silver, and they also provide facilities to keep those things securely for you. They keep it in your name. Any day you want to go back and even sell it, they can help you sell it and give you your money at a higher rate because it's always improving and increasing in value as time goes on. Unlike the currency that devalues over time. So it's a good one.
Okay, so basically connect with exchanges overseas who trade in gold and silver, buy, leave it, and come back tomorrow.
Yes, but I want to add, not just exchanges. There are certain companies that do this business, right? And I'm talking about hardcore physical silver and gold, not paper silver and gold. Because there are paper silver and gold that are traded in foreign exchanges. That's not what I'm talking about. Those ones is not the real stuff. I'm talking about having the real deal. As I speak to you, Berto and Patricia and the rest of us, central banks are buying a lot of gold, but they don't tell you. They don't say it. The Central Bank of Nigeria owns a lot of gold in foreign exchange. The Bank of India and many central banks of different countries are investing in gold, but they tell their citizens to focus on the currency. Why do you think that happens? So we all focus on the currency and they buy gold. Why are they buying gold? So you don't just do what rich people tell you to do. You do what you see them do. That's the way forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Leedee. Thank you so much. So I guess we are going home with a lot of stuffs in our mind now. But just a short recap, and again, if I were to ask you what will be our take home, what is the main goal? I mean, you just spoke about gold now. So what will be our golden nugget to take out from our talk show today? In summary, tell us what you have said and our golden takeaway.
Yes. I'll say it in pidgin English. Make you do something before something do you. That would be
make you do hashtag make you do something before something do you.
Before something do you. Yeah, that is our take home for today. Get financial education, invest in your financial education, because a man can be so poor, the only thing he has is money. Don't just think of cash. Get financial education first, and every other thing will be added onto you. Thank you.
Okay, so during your talk, you mentioned about some books and where to get these financial tips. Can you just do a short recap again on where we can find this?
Yes.
On social media or...
Yes, you can get, I believe on the description link below, we'll be given the opportunity to see books that I recommend, and even companies that you can buy gold and silver from. I will definitely leave that with Ibomi in the description. But I would like to show one book that I have here. It is called Who Stole My Pension by Robert Kiyosaki. Who Stole My Pension? Because moving forward, I just like our parents who used to think, oh, okay, I'm going to retire on a good pension. Really, retire on a good pension? A lot of pension schemes all over the world are broke, even as we speak. About 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the federal government under President Buhari went to PENCOM. Patricia, I know you know PENCOM. They went to PENCOM to borrow money. These were monies that were meant for pensioners, but the federal government went to borrow money from PENCOM. So you have to understand the future, that pension schemes are broke. You need to read this book by Robert Kiyosaki. You can get it on any online store, Amazon and the rest of them. It's called Who Stole My Pension.
Speaking of where to also find this book, where can we also find you on social media? Because we made mention that you have written over 146 articles. So please,
yes,
rather than waiting and still counting, definitely. So please, where can we find you on social media? LinkedIn, Twitter.
You go to my website. Just go to my website. I have a website called Mackarios.substack.com. Mackarios.substack.com. Mackarios is spelled Mackarios.substack, substack.com. Very much, yeah, very good. It's there. Mackarios.substack.com. And we are into financial education. We keep it simple, rich, and prolific. We let out articles every week. If you subscribe, you will get articles in your inbox every Monday. And we have these articles in written form, in audio formats, in video formats. For those who do not like to read, you just want to listen. For those who just want to watch something, we are communicating the message for that week in all these formats. If you do this once every week, within a 6 month period, you would have advanced in your financial literacy.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. So we are now at the end of our time. As your host, I want to say a massive thank you to our presenter, Leedee Nalley, who has done a fantastic job in educating us all and also encouraging us to go learn a bit more. I'd also like to use this opportunity to thank my co-host, who has been absolutely amazing, Patricia. Thank you. And
I totally enjoyed this.
People, and to the people behind the scenes, Ibomi, Taye, Oge, and Chineye, I just want to say a very big thank you. And to the class of 98, Federal Government College, Port Harcourt, see you soon.
So God, help us all. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
I get the band. Run it. Whoop. Run up, run it back. 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 I get it back and I run it up.